Factors in choosing a web hosting provider. Have you ever wondered how to choose a web hosting provider? Do you often wonder what are your requirements in choosing web hosting? Have you found yourself frequently thinking that, what are the factors depicting the quality web hosting? If yes, then you have landed on the right video. Welcome back to another episode of Colorful Finance, the #1 source for content centered around earning money from home. We provide you with theoretical experience in our videos and practical experience with the tools we provide you in the description. Subscribe to the channel so you're always up to date with our latest uploads. In this video, we'll take you through everything you need to know about factors in choosing a web hosting provider. Now let's get into it. Determine your requirements. However, if you are a developer, an online entrepreneur, or an online business looking for e-commerce capabilities or advanced scripting technologies, then you can determine your requirements. Whether you need shared hosting or dedicated hosting, this depends mainly on two major requirements: the traffic your website is expected to receive, and the degree of administrative privileges you need. If you expect your website to receive huge amounts of traffic, then you will need to have a dedicated server that definitely has a much greater bandwidth offering. Also, you should select dedicated server hosting if your website requires customized options, secure information, or complex applications such as e-commerce, dynamic content, database, and multimedia applications. Whether you need Linux hosting or Windows hosting, if you're going to use server technologies such as ASP, JSP, or intend to run Microsoft applications like Microsoft Access or Microsoft SQL database on your server, then you should use a Windows hosting provider. Although ASP can be run on the Linux platform using some commercial applications, there are security and reliability concerns related to it. However, if you want to use ColdFusion, it can run on both Linux and Windows platforms. What are your space and bandwidth requirements? Many web hosts nowadays offer generous amounts of disk space from 1 GB to 3 GB. However, if your website mainly acts as a download resource, then your disk space requirements may be 5 to 10 times greater than this. The second consideration is how much traffic your website is expected to receive, which will let you estimate your bandwidth requirements. How many park domains and subdomains do you need? Park domains are very advantageous and can significantly increase the amount of traffic to your website. Similarly, subdomains can help with your search engine rankings by pointing to specific directories of your website. Park domains and subdomains occasionally come free with certain web hosting packages. However, if you need more, you will have to pay an additional price per month. FTP accounts and anonymous FTP requirements. You may need more than one FTP account if you have coworkers working on your website project at different locations. The anonymous FTP permits the general public to access certain directories on your web server to whom they have been granted permission by you. In most cases, you will need a dedicated IP address for anonymous FTP to function. Whether you need e-commerce features? If you need e-commerce features, you should choose a web host that provides e-commerce functionality, such as shopping carts and the ability to accept credit cards. You should also check whether their server is SSL secure. Factors depicting quality web host. In addition to your own hosting requirements, the following considerations must be kept in mind when looking for a quality web host. More than 99.5% uptime. Choose a web host that has an uptime greater than 99.5%, and if there is an uptime guarantee, it's even better. If your website is for business purposes, it's very crucial that your site stays online 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and 365 days a year. Fast servers. The level of connectivity of your web host to the internet is very important. So, you should choose a web host with at least a T3 connection to the major internet backbone. Analysis has shown that the average web visitor waits for about 30 seconds before your web page loads. So, if your website takes more than 30 seconds to load, chances are that you will lose a lot of visitors and consequently sales. Server backups. To make your data secure, your web host must have a power backup system and should back up the data to an external device in order to prevent data loss due to failure. Check how frequently the web host backups the data, daily or weekly. Disk space and bandwidth. Choose a web host that meets your disk space and bandwidth requirements. Most web hosts offer 1 GB to 3 GB of disk space, so if your website is not mainly a download resource, then this factor is not that important for you. However, as regards the bandwidth, it should be as much as possible because your traffic can increase in the future, thereby requiring more data transfer. Also, check that you have the option of buying more disk space and bandwidth when required. Unrestricted CGI, SSH, FTP access and anonymous FTP. If you have a professional website, you will need to run CGI scripts, have SSH, secure shell, access and FTP access. CGI and FTP access is provided by most web hosts, whereas SSH access is provided by a few. You may also need to check if anonymous FTP access is provided. Software scripts. Choose a web host that has an extensive script library that you can use to add guestbooks, forms, surveys, newsletters to your website. E-commerce capabilities and SSL. Choose a web host that provides you with e-commerce capabilities with shopping cart software and also merchant accounts. The web host must also have an SSL secure server for safe and risk-free transactions. Web-based administration. Almost all web hosts nowadays provide a control panel to access and manage website features. Ask for a demo of their control panel if possible, and check to make sure that it is simple as well as comprehensive. The control panel should provide access to FTP, email, databases, e-commerce, and all other functions for effective website management. DEC 2.0 and panel are the leading brands of administration control panels. Full email services. Choose a web host that provides both POP3 and IMAP email accounts, web-based email, autoresponders, mailing lists, forwarding accounts, and antivirus and spam filtering software. Money-back guarantee. If the web host gives a money-back guarantee, it's even better because it makes you absolutely risk-free. 24/7 customer support. The web host should provide as many support channels as possible, including a fax section, a knowledge base, video and flash tutorials, toll-free support, email support, live chat support, and a community forum. Try emailing the web host a couple of times to check how quickly they respond to your request. Customer support should be as prompt as possible and should be available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and 365 days a year. This is crucial because if you run into problems and the support staff is not receptive or knowledgeable, you will be helpless. And with that, we've reached the end of this video all about factors in choosing a web hosting provider. Let us know in the comments section down below if you enjoyed this episode and found it helpful and interesting. Remember to leave a thumbs up before you leave. Also subscribe to Colorful Finance and click the notification bell so you're always up to date with our latest releases as always. Thanks for stopping by and watching. See you again soon in the next one.